And that's on period. That's on what? That's on period. You already know it's Lil B. Girl, he's so crazy. So crazy. Yeah, no, like I totally agree with your opinion. Oh my god. You're so crazy, Heather. Oh my god.
In the creation of a new organization, you really have to define who is going to be here as a founder and who is going to be here as a member. Because you cannot begin to build something new without truly understanding and appreciating what already exists. So, when I think of the founders here, we're thinking of women who are already a part of whether it's NPC, National Panhellenic Conference sororities, or NPHC, National Panhellenic Council sororities. NPC, historically white, NPHC, historically black. I'm very aware that there are very nuanced things that are in women's spaces that you are not going to get from watching a video or reading a book. You have to experience over a number of years in order to know what is working, what's not working, and what would you add. Like that is like you have to come to the table with so much knowledge already under your belt where you can contribute to a conversation versus we're telling you everything and you don't have anything to add. That just cannot happen. Whereas as a member, you have none of that baggage. You're coming in here fresh perspective, excited, ready, willing. Like that's really exciting as a new member. But as a founder, as someone who's going to be some of our first members, you need to be coming with some level of expertise and your own experience. And I'm personally going to be coming with 12 years going on 13 myself. And probably for founders, I would take it even a step further. How involved were you really? I personally was on leadership in both my undergrad and graduate experience. I've been to both international, national conferences, regional conferences, clusters. Like I have done the gamut. Because again, what is the purpose of creating something new if it's not going to be a more advanced, improved version of what already exists? I'm also very aware when it comes to this space, we have to agree upon that this is a space for college graduates. I understand that we might look at a collegiate option as far as like entry into this, but I'm also recognizing again for the beginning of this, the founders to the some of the first members. All of us must be college educated, and what does that pertain to? That means having at least a bachelor's degree from a accredited university, meaning none of those for-profit universities. What is the quality of that accreditation? Is it a regional accreditation versus a national? If you know anything about graduate school, a lot of graduate programs require your university to be regionally accredited. So now we're kind of weighing that. I am very aware on how many, whether very publicly or just, in the whispers of how many universities have lost accreditation. So these are things that we will be looking at. What is the quality of your education as well? Now, that doesn't mean we're going to become an admissions office where we're double checking your transcripts. Like, no. If you've had any job that they've done a detailed background check on you, you know that there are systems and databases in place that they will just simply check that you graduated. That's simply it. like, like once you graduate and you actually are working in the real world, your grades don't matter anymore. And quite frankly, who you were at 19, 20, 18, 21, like that doesn't matter for this space academically. Like we just care that you've graduated. I find it very shocking that a lot of these organizations, when you look into them, even though it's supposed to be college educated women, they will literally have classifications for membership if you did not graduate. And I don't anticipate and will not allow, in my mind, this to become a space where there are women who did not graduate in the space. We will be able to confidently and 100% correctly say 100% of us have at least a bachelor's degree that's in this room. Now, I know if we add the collegiate piece to this and end up making it the primary funnel for how you become a new member, then that gets kind of complicated and we have to reimagine what it is to come in here and what that looks like. Just initial thoughts off that. This is why I say both NPC and NPHC for this. I kind of like how the NPC girlies, they literally are out there in lettered shirts that same week or weekend. They get all the rights and privileges and responsibilities of membership like that quickly. Whereas to the NPHC experience, the D9 experience, no, sweetheart. You're going to be waiting until you're initiated a full-fledged member of this organization before we even see you touch our letters or God forbid our colors. So I always think of that. So there's like a happy medium between those two, where, maybe instead of an initiation when the girls are in their collegiate experience, it's an induction instead. And then the initiation comes upon graduation. That way we can maintain the 100% rate of, again, college graduate women in this organization as full-fledged members. But you still leave it where the girls get to still, they get to wear the colors, the colors and, whatever else is going to be here as well, where they still get all the rights, responsibilities, and privileges of membership. So that's just an initial thought on that. Which again, it's a reason why you have to have these experiences in these organizations. Now, I know sororities are not the only women's organization that exists. I've been a part of others, but I also recognize the heavy lifting that sororities have been doing through the decades. If we have to truly get honest on what impact sororities have done for both popular culture, when we have to think about like a Legally Blonde movie and the references we see from the girls, those of us that grew up on that movie, whether it's law school, medical school, PhD programs, I see those references very often in my life and on social media. Not then you factor in the actual impact that they're that they are making on college campuses related to how women's enrollment, women's graduation, progression to advanced programs, again, medical school, law school, PhD programs. I don't think anyone's ever truly documented what their creation and their continued persistence and existence has truly done. So that is the only reason why I truly bring it up, not just because I am a member of my own, but because I can see the influence that they have done. Not to mention, they have been fighting some of these fights that have gone under the radar to most women. Like, I think of the most recent fight when it comes to the 501c nonprofit status with the IRS. There was a fight to maintain that status and be a discriminating organization related to gender, which means they get to continue to be that same sex organization and exclude the other. That was a fight that they did win. So when we have to think about the creation of this space and us being able to maintain that status, we have to again provide appreciation for the women that trailblaze the path for us to be able to do this. So I can, have that love and appreciation for the work that they have done and will continue to do due to their size, power and influence. I will say the other beautiful part about this is whenever you attend a national or international conference, it's being in a sea of sisters. We're all wearing the same colors, and you get to have all these beautiful little experiences with, your sorority sisters just in passing, or, if you're sitting somewhere, if you're sitting by random sisters, it is just truly beautiful and unlike anything else you will ever have in this life. But I will say with that, the caveat to that is that's like every other year, every year, and for like a week. And then you have to go back to your life versus, being a part of something that's more regional, more local. Like in my mind, I think of it being in one state. And that is it. We're not having national and international reach. We are just focused locally where we are. Because if we have to be honest about this world and this country specifically, your local government has more impact over your daily life than the federal government does. When I say local, it's not just your city. It's not just your city. It's also your city, your county, and your state. That has more of an impact on you than the federal government. Not saying that it doesn't, but it has more of an impact. So if you more focus your energy on that, then that's different. Not to mention, people are going to be within driving distance. You're going to be very strategic on where things are as well. So if you happen to see this in the future, these are just some of the initial conversations that you will be having and thinking about when you're trying to create anything. For this particular space, I have done some thorough thinking just off my experience alone that you will need to have women that have experiences in sororities, college educated, and ultimately will end up living in the same state to make this successful. But living in the same state that's not an immediate rush to be doing, but that will absolutely become a priority as we get closer and as things are coming together. And don't forget, for those of you that are already out there, whatever rules they have, we don't have. So go for that recruitment event, go for that interest meeting, and experience all the things that need to be experienced. And we can't wait for you to be here. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Feel free to click around and watch something else. But until then, I'll catch you in the next one, or we'll connect in Discord. Until then.